Hi guys, it's Harvey from All Parts Pool and Spa. Recently I got an email and it was a very good email. I tried to answer the man's question as possible, best as possible. There's numerous ways. How do you know if the blower on your Stay Right heater is going or bad? And there's numerous ways. I mean, there's one way, and there's about 4 different ways. I'll teach you two today. If you work on them all the time, or you listen to the blower extremely careful, you can tell if it sounds like it's going slow or going fast and then slow. But anyway, like I said, I always say, read and understand your owner's manual. And these owner manuals, if you read it and try to understand it, it really walks you through a lot. This is a diagram of your main board, okay, where everything goes. But we're focusing on how to tell what's going on with a blower. Here's your ignition control module. That's and usually if the water inlet outlet is facing towards you, it's going to be to the left of the heater, okay? And you're going to have to remove a screw to get into this ignition control module. This is where all your wiring is. This is where your plug is. But this is a breakdown. Now, keep in mind, when you go in this box, if you don't disconnect the electric, pretty much everything in this electrical box that you just opened up is hot with low voltage and high voltage. Here's the terminal block. This is your high side. If we're going on to 120, here's your hot terminal block. Here is your neutral terminal block. Here's your 24 volt system right here. All right, these two are your 24 volt system. All right, this is really for your fireman switch. All right, but anyway, what happens is if you go to your ignition control module and all these wires from Stay Right are written on them, okay, you want to make sure you have the F1 wire, because the F1 wire, if you have electric to your heater, this is always has power. F1 has always power. It's always alive. So you just don't want to go grabbing it, okay? You never want to grab a wire unless you're 100% sure that it is not alive with any kind of voltage. And the only way to do that is with a meter, all right? So anyway, what I suggested to him is he had an amp probe, take the amp probe clamp around the F2 wire, all right? Start up the blower and watch his amperage. If it is spiking high or spiking low and it doesn't stay stable, more than likely it is a blower, all right? Because when a blower is going, the amperage is going to be all over the place. When a blower is good, the voltage stays steady. So you want to put your amp probe on F2 line, all right, off your ignition control module. What I would do is turn off your power to the heater, put your clamp on, your amp probe clamp, and then turn on the heater and listen to it. Now, let me give you one case scenario, and this is you only do when you positively know you have no power to this unit. You physically know the breaker is off, and you know you have your disconnect pulled. You should always have a disconnect near this heater, all right? Have the disconnect, and even with that done, you should put your meter on here make sure you don't have voltage, because this could be dangerous if you had voltage. One way to tell if your blower is good and you want to start diagnosing things, you could jump F1 and F2 with a little jumper. Now, just not on the fan wall, okay? Connect the two wires together. Believe it or not, out in the field, I always lost my set of jumpers. I used a Romex staple. It was the funniest thing. I could always find a Romex staple, but I could never find my jumper wires to fit in F1 and F2. So I used a regular standard Romex staple to jump them out. I always shook my head. A good mechanic, and I'm using a Romex staple. But that's a hobby story. I still shake my head on that. And I did it more than once. I could always find a Romex staple, but I could never find my wire. And after I'm done with the job, I find it. Okay. Now let's go, and we go, all right. The blower sounds good. We jump these out. The blower's now turning on. The next thing I would do is turn on the unit right away. If no service heater comes on right away, means it passed the safety check. You should get voltage out of this F2. Now, if you don't get voltage out of your F2, that's a different story. We're just going on how can we check if it's a blower. All right. So recap, we check the amperage off F2 in this cabinet, and then if we need to, we disconnect the power. We take these two wires off. We connect these two wires together. We turn on the power. If the blower still don't turn on, and we know we have power here, either you have a neutral problem, more than likely you have a bad blower. And the other way, how you can tell if it's a bad blower, it's not doing anything, if you let it sit there for 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes when it's on, all right, that motor will get extremely hot. You'll start smelling it, all right. It's just, you can actually feel it warm. Do not put your hand on it when you got power to your unit. Disconnect the power. You never know when she's going to short the ground, and then put your hand on the motor. Sometimes you could get lucky. Right in the dead center of the blower, there's the bearing right here. Sometimes you can spin it. Now keep in mind, a couple other my blurbs is you never, ever, ever want to take this blower assembly apart to try to fix the blower. All right. There's all kinds of warnings, all in case on this blower. The reason why, guys, this is your worst extreme nightmare. The blower on the stay right heater combines gas and air at the perfect ignition point for a massive explosion. You play with this blower at all, you don't line something properly up, and that fan blade nicks the aluminum, does a spark, and it's goodbye life. All right. It is, and if you don't believe me, go on your stay right blowers. It's stamped usually right here. It is stamped, tells you do not take this system apart. It's a sealed system. All right, guys. Hopefully that was a little helpful tip. We'll go a little bit further diagnosing boards. Diagnosing boards is real easy, especially through here. That's why I recommend, if you do your own work, you do want to get a meter, and we can show you how to start checking for voltages and everything. You want to read this page if you got a stay right heater, and get some information. But this right here will help you determine right here if it's a bad pressure switch, bad. This is your safeties. All right, this is your safety loop. That's a kind of neat little system to ohm out. All right, if you want to start doing safeties, but your board should tell you this. and then you can start checking for voltages through here. Alright? Alright guys, hopefully this was a little helpful tip. I am going to send you a link to amp probe I do like. So if you guys do work and you don't have a meter and you don't have an amp probe, buy yourself one. Do not do any kind of work without being 100% sure you do not have power. Alright guys, take care. Bye.